North Korea says that the final ban on the United Nations has been announced by the war. The United Nations sanctions as a punishment for North Korea's missile test last month. But if the war with nuclear-powered North Korea is warranted, what will happen? Two North Korean experts talked about this. They have visualized on their experience and guess what will happen in the first few days or weeks in such a war. North Korea say the first thing that can be seen is death of people in an unimaginable level. In the first 1 week, there will be 3 to 4 million people, including military and civilians. More than 2 million deaths will occur after 3 weeks of ending. One of the two experts is David Maxwell, who worked in the Korea region for the U.S. Army, and another Bruce Bechtel, a former Pentagon analyst. David Maxwell says, what a North Korean military commander wants to do in this case, the full use of the power of their artillery, through which the more death and destruction possible in South Korea. In the first few hours, literally millions of cannonballs and rockets from North Korea will be red like rain on South Korea. Many of these will read in the capital Seoul. The number of North Korean reserve forces is around 6 million. So they can be called the world's fourth largest military force. Whenever their leader Kim Jong-un thinks he is threatened, then he will order an attack. This order can come in many ways. It can happen even if US forces or their allies attack themselves, or take any wrong steps, said David Maxwell. What will be the reaction of the Americans? Bruce Bechtel says their strategy will be to use the force of the Air Force, and try to keep North Korean forces as much as possible, take the time to carry heavy military equipment such as tanks, trucks, armored vehicles, cannons, and warships of ground troops. It will take time for the Marine Corps to get out of Japan 3 or 4 days. It will take 3 weeks to bring heavy tanks from Texas. What will be the end of the war? The North Korean army will have to fight for 2 to 3 weeks in the reserves of arms, food, fuel, and so on. The main point of their plan will be to do whatever it is, because there will be nothing to do after this. As soon as their military units begin to collapse, the intensity of the war will also decrease. At that time Kim Jong-un will realize that he does not have the ability to fight. And when they understand it, will there be any reason why they do not use their nuclear weapons? They think that by this millions of Americans can be killed, said Bruce Bechtel.